Hey, welcome to the show. 9:37, and this introduction will be brief. I have the grandpapa of HipLife in the studio right now, Reggie Rockstone.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Hey, Chow.
How you doing, man?
Man, it took a miracle to get here.
But we're happy to see you.
They're trying me.
No, we're happy to see you, man.
Amen. But I made it.
You made it, and that's what's important.
Thank you, sir.
I want to start on a note of sadness.
Yes.
Because there's a gentleman whose name I hear in your songs.
Yes.
And he's no longer with us.
No.
And he left on the day that we were celebrating the 65th anniversary of Ghana's independence.
That man loved Ghana so much.
DJ Rab.
He loved Ghana so much, he checked out on the 6th of March. I couldn't have written that in the script. One of the greatest, my best friend. HipLife, he's the one behind all of the big hits, from Ayamadana to Plan Bang to all of the songs. And a lot of people don't know that HipLife was, from its inception, was started by an African American and a Ghanaian. And we came home in 93, 94, and he built a beautiful story. He loved Ghana to the fullest, and he passed away in Ghana in probably one of his favorite places. He checked out his terms. Of course, the surprise element, the suddenness of death, it never, ceases to shock your whole entire being. But in saying this, he was such a realist. He was very otiriasiasi. He understood the concept of life and death. So for him, the only thing that we have to do is continue to dream and look out for his children. His daughters, Safia, Noria, his wife, Princess, they are in the States, they're coming home, and that's all I'm concerned about. So is what we're going to do. So we will begin by Sunday, this Sunday. I won't even call it a vigil, because Rab wouldn't even, come, let's talk about Rab. Because in Kalapi or Mobile, we know.
You don't know.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah.
But they have to come and pay respects for all that he has done, paved the way for all that they enjoy today. And in their lifetime, he passed. Apart from that crowd, a lot of the artists, they know him. He worked for so many. And maybe Norman. From social media to all of the above, he's the one that put me on. And we have great plans, so these plans we have to continue. But we are raising money. It's here for, since I'm on your platform, it's here for Dorso. If you go on my page, you will check out the GoFundMe. First of all, thank you for the love Ghana showing, but we need some more, because we need to make sure. So, on the breadwinner to free me, so we need to back him up. And so, Sunday from 6 to 9, Rockstone's office, Momra, ton t-shirts, everything that we could do to raise money. I reach me, I say, and give him, make him happy, make him smile. That's all he would ever wanted. And then, of course, a party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would you miss most about DJ Rab?
Everything. Rab is my go-to man. I mean, like I was telling my wife, some of my most intimate secrets, that man took to his grave, and I'm holding his. He's family. He was a good friend of my dad's. New York, you see me and him. You see me and him in the UK, in Africa. We're very tricontinental, strong Pan-African, came up on. When his auntie just hit me up in my DM that when he was a kid, he did a graffiti piece of Malcolm X, by any means necessary. So he's a big tree. And Ghanaians need to recognize, and once in my life, I'm going to make sure that his name is in lights. Yes.
Well, good to have you here, and may he rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
So, what's a former dancer, a rapper,
Former pastor, we hear from.
You still dance?
Still I'm a supper.
Oh, what's that?
Me coming Nancy. Yeah.
Does it surprise you where your career has brought you to?
No. Everyone that knows Reggie Rockstone or Reginald Yaw Asante, from Achimota Secondary to the streets of the UK, Yankee, anybody that knows me from back in the day will tell you they're not surprised what I turned out to be. This is me 100. I've always been show. I've always been the jumpy, big. I've always been this dude. Mom, when me know cool school now, they will testify. From there, me reach Chimata from 1. And I grown and start here, Nino's nights.
You did your thing.
You did move backslide. No move who did that. Up to now.
Still doing it.
And I keep telling this story. People think I'm crazy. And I'm going to say this again, but this time I could back it up with physical or visual proof.
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling Ghanaians that I did the moonwalk before you saw Michael Jackson do it. Me kind last one di matemsa, but man temase. You see, Michael Jackson, the man who taught Michael Jackson the moonwalk, what we call the backslide. Remember, it's white people that named it the moonwalk. Yeah. The man that taught Michael Jackson the backslide is Jeffrey Daniels from Shalamar, who is a good friend of mine. Okay, I'm trying to remember for one. Daniel saw your backside. It was so trained. So yeah, Michael Jackson and me. It's me buy and now me buy watch Motown.
You did it in Motown.
I did it in Motown when I came to school. Then it was a few after the Michael Jackson did the Motown 25th anniversary, where he showed the world.
Long before.
But the beautiful thing is, the last time I said this story, they trolled me all over the internet. But guess what? Yet Rockstone's office, I know Jeffrey Daniels, I said P.O. He came to visit, so I actually have him on camera. I could share it with you. And you could Google this at tier 4. Mr. Jeffrey Daniels teaching Michael Jackson the moonwalk. Google it right now, and you will see him. Yes.
One time. The man is full of punchlines, man.
Thank you.
Have you always been somebody who titles of your
yes.
albums?
Makan, yep.
I said it.
Makan.
And then you have Mina, and then you have Mecca.
Yep.
What's all this Kaka business, man?
It sums me up. It does. I am very outspoken. I'm one of those people that if you don't like, you will really dislike. And if you do like, you will love. That's just me. I'm 100. As I come is how it be. And so my father raised me. So if you know Ricky was very outspoken. I mean, a lot more calmer than me, but the Ashanti in me just kicks out. And I've traveled wide, but on the same strength, I'm a very humble individual. I'm just a no-nonsense guy. I'll tell you politely.
You don't take crap?
No, I don't. But I have people skills, so I could tell you that you're full of crap without offending you.
Try it on me.
I just did. I just told you. No, you're not full of crap. You my man.
Yes, indeed. Listen, you mentioned your dad.
Yes.
And I want you to take a look at this because he was talking art, and I know you're an art guy on so many levels.
Yes.
But check this out. It's the dramatic pause before the stuff comes up.
Okay.
Yes, but it was something that I wanted you to just throw your minds on because it's almost 21 years since your father passed.
Yes, I lost count, but yes.
Yeah, well, we are counting.
Thank you.
Yes, and he said something very instructive in the piece that we will show you pretty shortly.
Yeah.
And he was basically talking about art and how we create the stuff, but then it gets almost commoditized outside of the
yes, which is the story today. We're still telling the story. He was a strong advocate. My father was he was probably one of the strongest Nkrumahs. That's how he even left the country. He got a scholarship. That's how he got out of here. But he came home and he put it in. Oh, this warms my heart. Yeah. Okay,
so we're going to listen to your dad. We're going to push it to its So tell us what was going on here.
This is one of his big fashion shows. It was at the State House. He had he had models. That's my mother there. That's Millie. He had makeup artists. At the time, you didn't even have models in Ghana. So a lot of these folks came from California. Oh, there he is. God bless him.
So now listen to your dad.
Yes.
Doing a research to bring the African art or the art itself to share with the world at large. In fashion, particularly. One is going through a process to gain a very strong, fresh looking, fresh ideas, original part of Africa to bring it to the world of fashion industry. And that can be a very strong statement, because Africa today is part of the international when you talk about fashion, because of our structure of fashion, traditional structure, color, texture, cut, shape. Now, the reason why we want to create this kind of, or I want to create this kind of atmosphere in the world today, is sharing. The other side is industry. Right now, the point is, Africa do not have the industry, but we have the raw material, that is the art. So, one have to go to Korea or Japan, Italy, India, every part of the world, to give them the raw material, which is the art that we created in our studio, to share with them, for them to process it and then market it all over the world.
What does it feel like hearing your dad's voice?
Oh man, I miss that man so much. I'm sure him and Rab have hooked up right now, smiling. You know, him and Rab were very close. God bless it. That's a legend there. If he wasn't my father, I would still be such a huge fan of him, and a good friend of mine. You know, most African children are not raised. You know, I wasn't raised in a conventional way. I was given the freedom artistically to be who I wanted to be, and he encouraged me. And I love that man so much. You know, it brings me. Oh man, God bless him. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Does it freak you out that here you are with a white beard, and he passed on long before you had white like you?
Yes, my gray is actually not. It's not age related. It's actually genes. No pun intended. Genes. Yeah, I started turning gray very early, and it wasn't because I got older. You na sa okrum, and me try you musa. I can't uncle patoma so. Yeah, but if you remember most of my pictures, I would dye all this and leave a little white patch here to be stylish. But now gray is in, you know, chicks dig gray, you know. Right now the kids, they go to those, to put gray in there. Yeah, you're trying to natural.
What would your dad have thought about what you do now, the music, the business, the condoms,
everything,
the wachi, all that stuff?
He co-signed everything before he checked out. It was Ricky that said to me, Reggie, you onto something big. It was Ricky that said to me, don't call it hip hop. You know, let's own it. He's the one that said, you know, we sat on that veranda on that fateful day and we chopped it up, and he said, put the hip for hip hop and life from high life, and we had HipLife. He is the brain, you know, and plus he financed it. That's my executive producer. And then, you know, he said, Rab, Reggie, what do you need? Zap Mallet, how much you need? Boom, boom, boom. You need a studio? I'm going to build you one. All those beautiful videos by Henny John, big up. That was him that bankrolled. He was dead serious. He knew. He didn't live long enough to see it become as huge, but he knew where it was going. And the wache, my favorite meal, he knows that. The condoms, we into some women, but that's not it. We always got to protect the young ones, and it's proactive. And then, of course, the nightlife, which he knows I've always been about. Everything that I am is not surprising. The one thing that he did not live to see is me be a family man, me settle, me be a husband with my children, and also, for the most, being married to President Liman's daughter, because he was such a huge fan of President Liman. Okay. So I know it's co-signed.
Big time.
Blessings.
Why do you call him Ricky?
Ricky is his name.
Why not Daddy?
No, I mean, Ricky, everybody called him Ricky. And I remember him telling me, he said, when you was young, I was Daddy, said everybody else calls me Ricky, and that's my name. And so you're a grown man now. He said it's funny a grown man calling me Daddy.
What do your kids call you?
My oldest daughter calls me Reggie, funny enough. Phoebe calls me Reggie. I can't remember Phoebe calling me Daddy. But, Daddy and Reggie sounds quite, it's all got the E at the end. But, of course, with my wife, my children, they call me Reggie. She's a total discipline. We are artists. On my side as the artist, we're free. I don't care. Not with my wife's the last side. You dare call your daddy Reggie.
That's not going to happen. What's happening musically these days?
Musically, music will always be with me and in me. And so I'm sure I could share with your audience some of my work, because these days you got to pay all kinds of payola to get your music played.
They're still paying payola?
I'm sure they are, because, they make like they don't hear the good music we're putting out. But yes, I'm sure you have the latest one is Move Faster, and we have Medicine, myself and Senator Dagadu, and we have Happy Day, myself, Episode, and Nation, and 1111 with Sarkodie. I've kept it current and fresh. Okay. The kids, they have a great amount of respect. I haven't lost the beat. I go toe to toe. Well, Mom and Mike and I, but I do this because it is a reminder that no matter how old you are, and your man said and say, so when they try to push you, I just recently saw Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all of them, 50 Cent opening for the Super Bowl, and I said, wow, these are my age folks, and they're still holding their thing.
So hey.
So I try to change the narrative, so the body is fit, but I still look old, but I can still do the young. It's a nice balance. Mr. R2G.
EB
Yeah.
Look behind you, there's a bottle there.
Okay.
Random questions.
Oh, this here?
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Yep. Shake it up, take one.
It's
a random question.
You can take it home. Free.
Are you left-handed?
I'm every-handed, depending on what
lines than a prize fight.
Okay.
All right, what's the question?
It says, wait, hold up. The old man ain't got his glasses on.
You can take the back one.
What situations, that's not hip. What situations cause you to hold back and protect your heart? What situations? I'm always protective of my heart because I have a big heart and people tend to take advantage of this. So I almost always have a shield, and I've been to war as far as the heart matters go. So I almost always, but that would probably be so personal between me and my wife. I always tell her I'm damaged goods from where I came from till I got to her. So sometimes, me Jimmy to me better.
Reggie Rockstone, we used to call him Ossei president. When I come back from this break, a presidential question. This is Your World, brought to you by Quick Credit, lending made simple, right here, only on GTV. Back after this.
Hey, tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Beer.
They ma worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now,
Yes. Boga, Nade.
Senior, name me a new man. Cut down, my business is a collapse. I'm out of balance.
So, we'll take quick credit in car.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit. Who Pesica? Eddie Astati, you may be. Who here be seen Eddie at true with your we are government and a private worker. Who Pesicadia till horses. We are Busumi Juma. Who yes, Cadia Bibin Tempest. Quick credit, Bema loan, and what you are in Kakra. Now, a little some Cassian said. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBN. You hear me say, what can do there? 1 year, you want now one hour young. Who need excuse here?
Credit was 03022 00390 and 05969 20833.
But not quick credit.
Your World brought to you by Quick Credit. My name is Kaf. My guest is Reggie Rockstone. If I were in school, I'd be calling him senior.
True.
Yes,
true,
indeed.
True.
And this is the question I've been asking everybody this whole week in our Independence month. So if you were president for a day, and you could pass a law that would not be overturned after your one-day president thing had ended, what would that law be, Reggie?
Well, you said if I was president for a day, I'm the second president, just so you know.
Yes, I do. Yes. Now
These jokes. If I was president for a day, it would have to be, it's between these two, but they're pretty much one and the same.
Okay.
It would be to give the right dose of punishment for corruption. If you was corrupt, you would feel it under my presidency.
How?
I would shame you, name you, so that it's a deterrent to the next. People don't understand corruption. It's not just Ghana. It's the whole of Africa. And it's via corruption that a lot of these, a lot of these bull BS goes on. It's greed. It's terrible, Kafui. And this is how we get got. This is how they lure us. This is how these, excuse my language, crackers, dangle the carrot before us. It's all based on greed. And once you get that corrupt vibe out, it will increase the levels of patriotism. One
time.
But in Africa, most politicians are like gangsters. They drive the fanciest cars. I always say this, politicians act like rappers. They getting the girls, the cars, the houses. These are folks who work for us. Yes, really, we chose you. And so, yeah, you would feel my wrath. Thank you. Osei President.
That's his address.
Yeah.
In charge.
I know somebody sitting at home hating on me.
Don't mind them. Like the lady was hating on your beard.
I know, right?
And I love your response.
Know. Yeah, I was like, who are you? My memory.
Reggie, final words before we go.
I never have the final words because I intend to be around for a while. Mm-hmm. But in saying this, I want young Ghanaians who are tuned in to listen to this. Ghana is for you. This is everything that you do will help shape the next. So, and we need to be more vocal. When I say we, it's because I'm feeling young here. But y'all need to be more vocal. You need to stand up bold. It's not about which political party. You just really got to have that united front. Young people do young things, but you become adults. So the music that I made how many years ago, some of the folks that listen to my music I'm probably in government now. I had a stake in there. And so when I talked about keep your eyes on the road, when I talked about the biggest crime in Africa, skin bleaching, Jerry Curl's baby, all of these gems that I put in these songs were mind gems. I wasn't talking rubbish, you know. And so today, a generation that's coming through on the ticket of what we built, I need for them to be more politically aligned and know that this country is for them. Africa, it only rock. I mean, look at what these young brothers and sisters doing Afro beats today. This is what Rab spoke into existence. If you watch them, he left America. He said, Africa is about to take over. But we can't do it without y'all. I mustn't be in you. But while I'm here, I would love to see that. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace. Hey, debut, me de Johnny bro.
For real?
Yes. Now it's breakfast show now. I'm for boy and bro. Rocks watching.
Nice.
To so my kushia back.
Fantastic.
Rick. A new military.
I want to remember the Achimota school prayer.
Yes.
For what we're about to receive.
See, we thank you, oh Lord. And you know what we call that in Motown, right?
Yes.
Okay, rolling.
Yes, rolling is happening. Hey, people, this is it, man. This is our show. Thank you so much, Rockstone. Thanks for coming through.
You're welcome,
We're going to be watching you guys.
Thank you.
On the Sunday, right?
Yeah, on Sunday,
DJ
yes. Let me get that number real quick. If you want to donate, we're raising funds for Brother Rab, an honorable one. The number is 024 111 9292. I repeat, 024 111 9292. Bibia obesa the man in the bushia. Namunti nim Wayebi. He died on the 6th of March in Ghana, for Ghana. And I'm very surprised I could remember this number off the head. My wife was in the corner looking, clapping.
Points for you, man. You're correct.
I'm on point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
Love to the family.
Thank you.
And everybody else. This is our show for Friday, the 11th of March, 2022. My name is Kafui Dave. You are invited. Midunu. You're giving me anointing, so you gotta move faster. Hey, tonight gonna be amazing, so we gotta move faster. All right. Coming live from the carpet.